Hey everyone, Michael here. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to use the new price action concepts indicator from LuxAlgo. This indicator has about a 90% accuracy rate, so it is a very good one. You can see over the past few weeks, we had a buy signal here from Bitcoin, and it did just launch up here, so a great opportunity for you guys to make some consistent profits. First things first, I want you guys to go over here to start a new layout. You guys want to be having a fresh chart if you guys are going to be doing this, okay? Now, I'm going to hide the volume because I don't actually use volume while I'm trading cryptocurrencies. Once you guys are here, I want you guys to actually rename this to something like LuxAlgo charts or LuxAlgo indicators, whatever you guys want to. But I want to know that this has to do with LuxAlgo, okay? LuxAlgo charts. That way I know when I go over here, I can see the LuxAlgo indicators and what they're telling me to do, okay? Next, we're going to hit save. And then from here, we're going to go over here to indicators, metrics, and strategies. We're going to type in LuxAlgo with one word. So LuxAlgo like that. Under community scripts, you're going to see it right here. LuxAlgo price concepts premium LuxAlgo. Okay. Now, if you guys don't see it here and it's not green, there's a chance you guys haven't gotten it yet. Feel free to go get it. I have a link down below, then come back and watch the rest of this video. If you guys already have it as well, you guys may be able to find it just right here in the invite only scripts. It'll be right there with all the indicators you currently have. I have the LuxAlgo oscillators, price action concepts, and the signals and overlays. For this tutorial, we're going to be going over the price action concepts. So click on it one time. There you go. Now you have the basics set up here. We're going to be doing a lot of work to this, and it's going to take some time, so bear with me. We're going to be going over how to set everything up, how to use this to make consistent profits, and actually how to use this with different types of charts, okay? So first things first, we're going to go over here and we're going to click settings, and I want you guys to scroll all the way down here until you see this one sign that says general styling. I want you guys to change these settings to this. I want you to go from tiny to normal for internal label size. For swing label size, normal. Structured theme, I want you guys to keep this colored. OB metric size, I want you to keep this at normal. Dashboard location, this is the dashboard right over here. You can put this in the top right or the top bottom. A lot of you guys like to keep it the top bottom. This is going to be the bottom right over here. I like to keep it over the top right personally. And then I'm going to tell you guys to put it as large, and let me tell you why, okay? See how big it looks right here? I'm using this at a 175 zoom in level here on Google Chrome. If I go to what I normally look at my charts like at a 100%, you guys can see how small it looks and how small everything looks. But if I wasn't zoomed in a lot, you guys wouldn't be able to see any of this stuff on my chart, okay? So what I'm going to do is leave that at large, and I'm going to go back over here to 175, hit auto, and now you guys can see the change of characters and the break of structures, okay? So once you guys have that set up, now I can get started from top to bottom what everything actually means. This is important, so watch the entire video, everybody. If you guys don't watch the entire video, there's no way you're going to be able to get like a real consistent amount of profit from this indicator. So first of all, we're going to be starting with the internal and swing market structures. What those are these change of characters here and these BOSs. So as you guys go through your charts, you're going to see these things that say CHOCH and BOS. Some are going to be green, some are going to be red, some are going to be green again, some are going to be red like this. They can both be red and green, okay? The way these work in very simple terms is the green change of characters are your buy signals. The red change of characters are your short signals. The break of structures that you guys will see are just letting you know that the trend that the change of character said is actually still going strong. So if you see a green break of structure after a change of character, that means that the overall trend is just continuing to go higher, okay? This is sometimes okay if you guys want to be looking at this as a long-term trend. You can still see some good movement, but usually once you start getting into these larger levels of resistance like you're seeing right here, that's where this starts to fail off a little bit, okay? Now, in order so you guys can understand this a little bit more, this is what I want you guys to go do. Find the LuxAlgo price action concepts premium again in the indicators, metrics, and strategies, and go over here and tap on the read more section. From here, this is their version, LuxAlgo's version of what all of this is. It's not as good as a video tutorial, but it is very good if you guys just want to take a quick read on it. I want you guys to go to this section right here. I'm going to open this up into a new tab for you guys, just so you guys can see it in a little bit of a larger sense. And then from here, I'm going to take my head off of the screen, and then we're going to go over the market structure. You guys can see starting from the left, you have a break of structure green, a break of structure green, another green, a break of structure. Following that, we have a change of character in the red. That is your short signal right here. Short that sucker down. You have a change of character green. You want to buy that, and you can see how it keeps on going, okay? Boom right there, boom right there. Even a change of character right here, that ends up going back down as well, then another change of character. A BOS stands for break of structure. This is when the price breaks a higher high in an uptrend or a lower low in a downtrend. It's just confirming the trend is continuing to go higher, okay? Does not mean to double down or keep buying. It just means to keep the trend is continuing to go higher. The change of character without the plus sign, just the regular change of character, means a price has broken a higher low in an uptrend or a higher low, or excuse me, a lower low in a downtrend, directly after sweeping the recent pivot higher low. So you can see right here, it broke down below this low. On this one, it broke above this recent high, okay? Now, the change of character, the plus, is a price breaks above a higher low in an uptrend or a lower low in a downtrend after forming a new lower low or a higher low, okay? Or lower high, excuse me, or a higher low. So you see this higher low right here, then we have the change of character. That's where you're gonna see the change of character plus. I like using both change of characters and change of characters without the plus sign, okay? They're both the same in my mindset, although change of character plus is usually determined to be a little bit more of a stronger signal. I have realized that using this a bunch of times, it doesn't really matter all too much, okay? Now, let's go back over here. I'm gonna exit out of this very fast. And that's basically what the change of characters are and the break of structures. But the change of characters, guys, that's your big buying and shorting signals. I wanna make that clear. That's what you guys are gonna be looking at a lot. So let's say you guys only want to see internal structures, or you guys only want to see swing market structures. Here's what you guys are going to be looking at. Swing structures are only these ones that have solid lines. Everything that has a dashed line right here, those are internal structures. So if I were to somehow turn this off and say, hey, I want no internal structures, just go to none, you guys will see that all of these go off, and all you have left is just the ones that have the solid lines here. There are not many solid line break of structures or market structures out there, okay? If I were to zoom out on Bitcoin's daily chart, you can see how there's only a few out there. A break of structure over here, a change of character, a break of structure. Not really many out there, so I'd recommend not doing that. I'd recommend that you guys, for internal, have it set to either all, or if you guys only want to see the change of character, basically the buy and sell signals, I would actually just say do it to change of character all, okay? However, for this video, we're going to keep it to all just to make your lives a little bit easier. And then for swing here, we're also going to keep this to all. A lot of times for the swings though, a lot of you guys are probably just going to have it to be change of character all, okay? And like that. And you're going to see it just gets rid of that BOS here. This wasn't too important at the time because we already had the change of character sell signal right here, okay? Now, let me put my beautiful head back on there. Hello. And now we can move on from here. So, after that, I'm going to put this back to all just for this. You guys can see that you guys can change the colors. All you're changing here is the colors of the actual words here. So you can change the change of character. You can make that into a red if you really wanted to, okay? And boom, it turned red. I normally like to keep it green, red, you know, nice and simple. Buy is green, red is sell. That's the easy way of doing it. There we go, change the colors back up. And afterwards, you're gonna see down here, structures, MTF scanner. This one basically just says display active market structures on different time frames. You always wanna have this one checked on, in my opinion. It just gives you more information about the break of structures and what you're gonna be looking for. I'd always rather have more information than less information when I'm using these charts, okay, in this indicator. Afterwards, you have equal highs and equal lows. This one's pretty simple. I mean, there's nothing complicated about this one. You can see highs over here, you can see some lows. It's just showing you some basic support levels and some basic resistance levels. You guys don't need this to be actually in order to kind of see these levels. However, if you guys are newer to investing, perhaps you guys want to have that there as just a little bit of comfort to say, wow, there's a level of resistance there. Sometimes we get so hopeful that maybe we're going to move up higher that we just forget, wow, there's a huge wall there and we're just not breaking out above it. Sometimes it's okay to have that. For this tutorial, I'm going to turn this off, but if you guys are new to investing and you guys just can't see those levels just by looking at a chart, I'd actually recommend keeping that on, okay? Next, we're going to have color candles. If you guys remember, we were just talking about the change of characters being green and red. Well, basically, when you guys have a change of character, that in this indicator is a buy signal. So when you actually do the color candles, everything after the change of character turns green. And there are a few reasons you guys might want to use this. The first one is, you know, green is buy. Maybe that makes your brain tick a little bit better. On the other hand here, I like it because it shows an overall trend. So you can see over here, there is a red outline on a few candles here, and that lets you know that there was a red day in the market, a red, a day where the market closed below where it opened up at. But if you guys are using this trend, it kind of keeps you in an okay mood, whether it's not panic, right? The overall trend was still green. So if you guys panicked and sold off of a red day like this, maybe you guys might regret it that you guys sold at 20,700 instead of a maybe opportune moment around 24,000 or even 25,200, okay? This kind of keeps you more excited for the overall trend. And then only when this trend actually dies off do you actually want to start selling off. The way I look at it is this keeps me strong in certain circumstances. However, if we start running up against major levels of resistance and we're getting some red candles, of course I'm going to scale some off, even if the indicator is still in the greenish trend. I'm okay scaling off here and I'm okay scaling off here because you never know exactly what's going to happen and if the trend is going to reverse. You can see over here there was a buy signal. We kept on going up, and that was a good opportunity to make some money. But again, we were running up into some levels of resistance. We had the FTX crash come along, and guess what? We had a bearish signal here that actually led to some really solid profits over the next couple of days. But you guys don't want to just hold through all that, everything. So that's why it's okay to scale it as you go along, but understand where those big levels of resistance are. Not every big Bitcoin move is going to be this massive where it goes from, 16,000 to 25,000. A lot of just $2,000, $3,000 moves every now and again. And that's basically what you guys are going to be trading the majority of the time. But if you guys get lucky and get this big move, that's what you guys are going to be loving as far as using this indicator. Now, I'm going to keep this off for now because it kind of gets a little bit of annoying just to see that color. But if you guys like to just have the signals there, keep the color candles on for yourself. Next, you're going to see strong lows and weak high lows, or strong weak high lows. And basically, if I turn this on, you're just going to see the lows and the highs of a recent move. So let me click this on here very fast. You guys are going to see a strong high right over here. This is just letting you guys know there's a resistance level up here. Again, we could already see that, I'm pretty sure, just by looking at the chart. However, if you guys don't you guys want extra information, keep this on. There was no harm in keeping this on. There's a weak low way down here, and there's a strong high up here, okay? By all means, if you guys need it, keep it on. There's no reason you guys can't keep this on. I usually would just put a ray on here, but this is an automated version of that, so this actually works pretty well. For today's video, we'll just keep them on, I guess, just to kind of show you guys what they look like as we kind of change through time frames here over the next few minutes. After that, we're going to be moving over here to order blocks. Now, when it comes to order blocks, let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see what's going on. These are order blocks. Order block right there, order block right there, and order block right there, even one over here. These are considered levels of resistance and support, and it shows where there was a lot of institutional activity, where there was a lot of people buying and selling, and a lot of big moves that ended up making the chart move down in a drastic way or up in a drastic way, okay? Now, when we go over here, you're going to see that this is actually turned off as far as the swing order blocks are concerned. If I were to add the swing order blocks right now, you're going to see a whole swath more of order blocks come up. Some down here and some even way down below the chart because this is a longer term order block method, okay? Now, I will actually keep all of them on. I'm going to keep all the internal ones on and all the swing ones on. If you feel like there's just too many order blocks on your screen, you guys can always turn down the number here. This number 5 and this number 5 below it just says how many order blocks do you want to see? How many internal order blocks do you want to see? So if I were to take off the swing here, you're going to see all those other ones disappear. But I turn this to like 2 or 1, you're going to see all but one of the order blocks go away, and that's the right here. And this is going to be the most important order block that you're going to be looking at, okay? That's the one right there. Now, I keep this at 5 normally for both of them, but sometimes if I'm doing day trading or I'm on the 5 or the 10-minute charts, maybe I'll move it down to 3 and 3. That way my screen isn't overly cluttered, okay? If you start to see that there's too much clutter, start doing the swing ones first, then start to do some of the internals. I would say at most or at the lowest, maybe you go 2-2. I wouldn't recommend going 1-1 or anything like that, okay? After that, you can always change the colors here to change the color of the gray right here. I don't think you guys have to change this, but if you guys want to change it, suit yourself, okay? There's nothing wrong that you can do, but again, it just doesn't make much sense to me to actually change the colors here because it's not like you're changing the reds and the greens over here. All right. After that, you're going to see the mitigation method, close, wick, average. Keep this at close. If you guys do wick or average, sometimes I don't like it because you can see this one right here, it disappears. I would have loved to have that resistance level right here because this would have been telling me, hey, sell, 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 or at least scale out, scale out, scale out, or even open up some short positions. Same with average. You can see some of them just don't show up here. I'd prefer if you guys kept it on close, but that's just me. You guys may be able to use wick or average on the day trading charts like the 15, the 20, or the 30-minute charts. I'm probably going to say I keep it at close for everything that I do. But give it a few tests and see if it works the way you want it to for different time frames, okay? Now, for internal buy-sell activity, this is just showing you guys these bars right here, the green bar and the red bar. For me, I keep these on just because I want to see if there was more selling activity or more buying activity. And then you guys can also change the colors here. Like maybe I don't want it to be green. Maybe I want it to be white. And you're going to see it right there, just turn white. All right. Now, for now, again, I'm always keeping it green, but you guys can always change those colors as you see fit. Afterwards, you're going to see show metrics. You're going to see this one right here that says the check on, check off. That's what you're looking at right here. 1.7 million, 18%, 3.34 million, 35%. And there's two right here, but they're very important. One's an internal order block and one's a swing order block. They are still very important. But basically, this is just going to show you the numbers here. The larger the percent, usually the stronger the support or the stronger the resistance. If I were to get rid of the internal one here, you guys should see a number pop up right there. 70%. No wonder we weren't able to break out above it. That is a huge level of resistance right there. And you can see how much we sold off previously. There was a lot of selling going off here. And so we eventually, unfortunately, got rejected this time as well as far as Bitcoin's concerned, okay? Next, we have hide overlap. This one works most of the time. You can see there's an overlap right here, but that's because there's just such a strong level of support. Normally, if you have this unchecked, you'll see more overlaps, like possibly down here. Yeah, another overlap right there. You don't want to see that. I'm just going to type that on, and I would always recommend you guys have the hide overlap checked unless you guys really want to see every single support. But usually if you do that, you can be kind of confused because like, am I trusting this support or am I trusting the support below it? I don't know. It makes you think more than you would otherwise have to. All right. Next, you can look at time frames here. So let's say you're on a 30-minute chart or a 4-hour chart, but you want to look at the order blocks that would be on a daily chart. This is where that would come into play. So let me go over here to, let's say, the 15-minute chart. And you'll see right now that we have some order blocks. These are the order blocks for this specific chart. These are the order blocks for this specific chart. You can see we have a strong low over here, a strong high over here. And if I were to go back over here and just say, hey, I don't want to use that. I want to use the daily order blocks. You'll see these go away up here. And it'll show me some different ones, right? Now we're getting back into this zone right here. And now here's the actual order block that you might be looking for on this 15-minute chart. And that's all the way down here around 21,876, well away from the order blocks that might have shown up over here if you guys are using a different time frame, okay? So let's go back to daily here. Let's go back to auto. Let's zoom in just a little bit more. And again, what we need to do, you guys have to make sure you guys do this if you guys are changing the time frames. Go back in there and make sure at the end of the day it's set to chart. If you guys don't change this after you're done trading, it can be very confusing sometimes, okay? Or if you guys only want to see the day ones while you guys are doing day trading, you guys can always just leave it to day. But the majority of you guys will be using this, just moving from chart to chart and just keeping at the chart method, okay? So keep that at the chart. Afterwards, you guys have trend lines, patterns, and liquidity grabs. Liquidity grabs aren't too important. They're basically just showing you opportunity where a lot of the asset, whether it be crypto, the stocks, or currency, was bought up a lot. I usually don't use them too much, so you guys can use them if you want to. You may see a liquidity grab here somewhere. Here's one liquidity grab, right? Liquidity grab right there. This is a bearish liquidity grab, but you can see not much happened because we broke out off of a trend line and boom, we just kind of went sky high. Again, I don't use these too much, but if you guys like liquidity grabs, you guys can always trade them to your heart's content. Probably a little bit better, honestly, on the 15-minute charts, the 30-minute charts, those lower time frames rather than just the daily candles, okay? Next, we're going to be talking about patterns and trend lines. Very simple concepts. Trend lines, if you do this, it'll actually put trend lines onto your chart. You can see a breakdown right there, a breakout right there, a breakout right there, breakdown, right? So very easy concept. I prefer to do this myself. I don't really prefer to have an algorithm do it for me or an indicator. It's just the way I was taught to trade. I like to look for my own trend lines here, but you guys can always change this up as much as you want to. You guys can do a few things here. Let's say you have 5. You can go to 10 and you can see how everything adjusts, right? If it does want to adjust. I guess I have to go back a little bit further. Yeah, it added more trend lines on here, but way back over here. You had a breakdown, a breakout right there. So there's different ways you guys can use this. I prefer just to use my own trend lines. But if you guys are doing like the 15-minute chart and maybe you guys just want to have everything automated, you guys will wait and boom, you have a resistance level right there. You have a breakdown right here, a small breakout right there. And you guys can be doing some small scalp trades during the breakouts, okay? For me, I like to just do my own, but these are still pretty good. So if you guys are more of the type that wants to automate the resistance levels here, see, resistance, no breakout, then you guys can just say, hey, I'm going to leave this on here and have some fun with it. So when the breakouts happen and we have a change of character, wow, I'm going to be buying. And if we have a breakdown and a change of character, I'm definitely going to be shorting into that position, okay? So I'm going to turn that off. Last thing here is patterns. This one's pretty cool. So keep an eye right here on the dashboard on the top right-hand corner here. Once it finds a pattern, it'll actually tell you what that pattern is. Detected pattern, descending triangle. It'll actually say the descending triangle is a bearish continuation pattern anticipating a downside breakout. So you can see that pattern popping up right here. We had a breakdown, and then there you go, and moved back down. Personally, I like the change of character as a better representation of when I should be opening a position. The change of character was right here. This told me to short at that point in time, and look at that. And it doesn't work all the time. You can see right here, we had a long, we are breaking back into resistance levels here, so probably not the best buy signal there. But if you have a stop loss here, let's just say you lost a few percent, you're going to make all that up by just going to the next one and doing this. That's where the consistency comes in. You're not going to win 100% of the time, but every single day at the end of the trading day, you should have more money in your account than you started off with. And that's why I love this indicator so much. Now, I don't use this tool here as far as patterns. I learned off of pages like this. Let me see if I can find one over here for you guys. Go to my patterns section. There you go. And so you guys will learn all about these patterns if you're new to trading. If you guys aren't new to trading, you guys already know these patterns. I do it myself, and I'm usually waiting for some type of change of character towards the end point of a breakout, okay? Whether it's after the breakout or possibly like towards the number 5 or the number 6, like right before the breakout, that's usually where I'm going to be looking for those change of characters to have a really good momentum shift there. But you guys should learn how to use all of those patterns, regardless if you guys are going to be actually using their pattern tool that they have here on LuxAlgo, okay? After that, we're going to be looking at fair value gaps. This one's pretty simple. Basically, if you guys don't know what a fair value gap is, I'll explain it in very short terms. Let's go over here to the daily. When you guys have a very long candle, and I mean a very long candle, sometimes it does it for the shorter ones. You guys want to focus on the very long candles. You're going to have a fair value gap there. What the fair value gap is, it's the low of the candle after the large move, the low, the wick low, and the wick high of the candle before the large move. You can see right there and right there. And usually, because of this large move, there's usually an overextension, and the price action usually has to come back down to the middle zone right here. So you can see right now, Bitcoin was looking very, very strong after this large move, but just give it like a week, and oh my gosh, it's almost back down here. Oh, it did actually break down here to the middle section again. And from there, sometimes we have a pivot point that continued to move on higher. But that's the way you guys are going to be using fair value gaps. Fair value gaps are all over the place. There's a bearish fair value gap from this one right here to this wick right here. And you can see how it came back into the fair value gap, and then boom, it came back down a little bit more, and then eventually it took off separately. The way I use this is by not using it at all. Fair value gaps are pretty common, but I will just put it there every now and again. If you guys want to use this, here's a few tips I want to tell you guys. So mitigation method, leave this at average. Close, wick, and none. You guys can try to have some fun and see and test it out with in your own time. For me, I just keep it at average. As far as time frame, I keep it at chart, unless maybe I'm using a 4-hour chart or a 15-minute chart and I want to use on the daily. I'm usually only using it on there. But if you're day trading, you can always set it to the 4-hour and the daily, okay? Now, as far as the extend box, this one's a very simple thing. If you guys feel like the box isn't extended out as much as you guys like toward the right side of your screen, you guys can just go over here and say, hey, let's extend it out to 10 or 15. So in a second, you see all these boxes just go boom, right? And after that, you're going to see this auto fair value gap threshold. I would always have this turned on. Otherwise, you have so many fair value gaps and it gets very, very cluttered on your screen because they are everywhere. They are everywhere on your screen, okay? Everywhere on your charts. So when you guys turn this on, it gets rid of a lot of the ones that aren't too important. So now you have an important one there, an important one there, and an important one there. And guess what? See, fair value gap ended up coming back down, and then it started to rally back up. Okay? Doesn't mean it's going to rally back up all the time. That's not what I'm saying. However, usually we do make our way back into that middle zone here. Not all the time like you can see right here, but usually, eventually, we do make our way back down there, okay? Now, let me get rid of the fair value gaps for now. I don't use them too often unless I'm like specifically looking for them. Most of the time, I will keep this off because it does clutter up your charts quite a bit, everybody. Next, we're going to be talking about the premium discount zones. This one's, again, pretty simple. It's going to show your premium sell zone up here. You can see the premium that just popped up and the premium discount zone down here. And basically, if you come up here, this is a good idea to probably sell your asset at the time, or at least scale out. I'll probably say at the minimum, you should think about scaling out some. At the bottom over here, you should probably think about buying some at the minimum, okay? Now, if we go over here to, let's say, the 15-minute chart, you're going to see a little bit of a difference here. Let me actually hide the order block so you guys can just see the premium zones here. Give it a second. There you go. So the premium zone here and the discount zone over here. Next time you come over here, it's probably an okay opportunity to buy some. It's just showing you guys some steady levels of resistance and some steady levels of support. Again, most of the time you guys won't need to use that. You guys will be able to use your own tools there. But for just in case you guys want to see it there and have an extra level of support, by all means go for it. You may see some overlap with the order blocks and these levels of discount and premium. I would be okay with the overlap if I were you. It's not going to really bother you too much, especially because see the red just kind of matches up there. It's not the end of the world. I don't mind that overlap, but if you guys do mind it, choose whichever one matters most to you. I would say that the order blocks are more important than the premium zones, okay? After that, we're going to be going to accumulation and distribution zones. These are very simple. It's just where the price action is probably going more sideways, and you're seeing accumulation before a larger move on the upside or a larger move on the downside. So if I were to show an accumulation zone right here, there's probably not going to be many because Bitcoin's been very volatile. If we go all the way back over here to 2022, you can see this accumulation zone that happened right here, the zigzag motion, and then all of a sudden, boom, we started to come back down here. You saw the change of character right here that told you to short. Another change of character said short, and boom, what a great short that was. That was a lot of money right there. A change of character buy right here that only worked for a couple days, not the best, honestly. And then afterwards, another change of character, boom. But again, if you guys didn't make money off of this one and you guys hit your stop loss, well, guess what? You would have made so much money shorting right there. You would have made so much money shorting right there and longing right there and shorting right there and longing right there. You guys would be fine overall. I really want to hammer that into you guys' heads. Because this indicator isn't perfect, you guys want to make sure you guys have a plan and a stop loss in place to make sure you guys aren't just trusting this algorithm or this indicator 100% of the time, okay? Now, next, what we're going to be going over here is getting out of the show zones. I honestly don't use them, guys. You may use them more on the 15-minute charts, but I know an accumulation zone, when you see them, it's basically when the chart's going kind of more sideways. You're just waiting, and you're waiting for that pattern to emerge and that pattern to play out, and then you want to trade that pattern or just trade the change of character here, which I think the majority of you guys are going to be doing. Now, one of the cool things here that you guys can do that I think is pretty fun is actually turn on these special things called high-lows MTFs. Basically, it's just going to show you the highs and lows for that day, that Monday, that week, that month, or that quarter. And so if I go over here and I want to see the week's high and lows, it'll show you right there. Normally, these are levels of support and resistance. These actually match up pretty well with the order blocks we're seeing, so normally you might not have them on there. But it kind of pays if you're day trading around this zone, then you might actually want to have these weeklies up here so you can see that level of support. All right. You guys can also do it for the dailies. The thing about the dailies you guys have to understand is you can see how it's not taking today's candle, it's taking yesterday's candle. It's the last candle that closed, okay? It will not work on an open candle. It will go to the candle that closed before. And sometimes you see levels of support, sometimes you see levels of resistance. Not always, but sometimes. With a day like this where we're breaking down pretty hard, you probably won't see too much support, but we can double check on the 15-minute chart because no matter what time frame you go, you'll see that line there. There we go. Okay, 15-minute chart on the daily. You can see barely any support. We just kind of crashed down below it. Then that support actually turned into resistance very fast as the market was having a very rough day today due to some really bad inflation data that came out, okay? Now, let's hop back over here in the settings. Actually, let's go to daily. There we go. And then for this one, I don't really keep it on, so I would say take it off. But if you guys are day trading, definitely decide to keep it on, okay? Let me go back over here to auto. And then we have another fun thing that I think you guys will like a lot. This is probably something that you guys will be using quite a bit. This goes over here to the alerts. We're going to skip over the general styling because we know what this is. Basically, it just changes the size of the letters here and the size of the dashboards and stuff. We already talked about that at the beginning of the video. But these are the alerts that you guys can be using. This is bullish break of structure, bearish break of structure, swing break of structure, etc., right? If you guys just want to have alerts on your phone for the bearish and bullish signals, I would just have these checked on. Bullish change of character plus change of character bearish, right? I would have these 8 turned on. To me though, I don't actually ever have alerts running. I basically am just looking at my chart and I determine when I want to trade. I like to trade in the mornings, so I'm waiting for those alerts to hit me in the morning. Or basically, I'm trading in the morning and I'm just waiting for that change of character, then I buy some up, or I wait for an entry position after that change of character, and I'm good. If you guys are away from your computer a lot and you want an alert to get back to your computer to make a trade, then you guys might want these alerts, okay? If you guys are just going off of breakup structures, you guys can also add those on here. Again, I don't use breakup structures too much. It just tells me the trend is continuing. That's what I'm still happy with that, okay? Now, you can have equal high or equal low alerts, mitigated bullish order block, mitigated swing order blocks, swing order block entered, swing order block entered again. You guys can set these if you want to. Again, I'm usually well aware of how my trades are doing. I'm not like in and out of the room all that much, unless I'm like around behind my green screen here and watching my big, 77-inch TV. But usually I'm not too far away from my actual computer. Afterwards, you can also set up alerts for trend lines, bearish grabs, bullish grabs, detected patterns, and balance alerts. You can set it up for everything. And once you're done, you just hit OK and you're good to go. So I'm going to take this off right now because I don't want these alerts to pop up. I have a lot of charts and I don't want them to pop up for all of them. And you're going to hit OK right there. And you have alerts set up for this chart while you're trading, okay? While you're there, and if you are only this chart though. So while you're away, you get an alert. It'll pop up on your phone if you have TradingView, and if you have notifications on your iPhone or your Android or your Google Pixel turned on, it'll send alerts to your phone, okay? Now, the basic way that you guys are going to be using this is just as simple as buy, sell with a little twinge of common sense here. That's the key. So what we're going to be doing now is just going back a little bit here. Let's just go back to, let's just say, before COVID. And we're going to do what's called a bar replay. All right. Let's go back over here to January of 2020, before the news came out and when things were kind of a little bit worse, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to set the color candles here so you guys can see that this was a red signal, and we got that red signal over here, and you can see the move that came down afterwards. We're going to go with a 10x speed here, and I'll do a little bit of pausing and resuming just to make things a little bit easier for you, because I know this thing can go really slow sometimes. But I want you guys to see in the top right-hand dashboard, everything is red. 15-minute, hour, 4-hour, everything is red, a change of character, and the daily already has 2 breakup structures after a change of character, okay? So let's hit this. All right, change of character green. If you guys bought right there, a few days later, you guys are making some good money. Making money. So this trade already worked out beautifully, okay? Now let's go on. It'll keep on going up. It looks like it's fine. All right, change of character red right there. Nasty move. Change of character at 8,400. The price went all the way down to 3,800. That could have been an amazing short, okay? Another great signal. And you notice how it's not catching the bottom with the change of character. You're not trying to catch the bottom. You're not trying to catch the top. You're just trying to make a lot of money playing the move, okay? That's the main point here. Change of character there. Going more sideways. Still making some good money there. Awesome. You gotta love it, right? You gotta love it. Change of character on the downward side, came down a little bit. Change of character on the upward side. This one doesn't look like, oh, it ended up working out. Look at that. Even the solid change of character on the swing hit. So sometimes it's not going to work perfectly, but those stop losses are going to protect you. Change of character there. Nice move really right here. A lot of good stuff is coming up at this point in time. Nice little bear market. This one right here didn't work out too well. Again, the stop loss protects you. The next change of character, you would have made all that money back and more that you lost in that one small trade because you had a proper stop loss in place. You can see right here, another change of character didn't work out too well. This change of character didn't work out too well. This one worked out very, very well. And again, the stop losses protect you. You guys have to use common sense here. You guys have to use common sense. This one worked out. The one previously, this change of character working out very, very well. Again, look at that. Now we're doing pretty well. Another one that's working out pretty well. You guys are going to get accustomed to this more and more and more. But you can see how accurate this thing really can be if you just let the patterns play out. If you just let the system play out, it works out very, very well. But don't expect it to hit the moon every single time. Just have proper scale-up points. These proper scale-up points can be Fibonacci extension tools, Gann box resistance levels, all types of crazy things. However, if you guys stay consistent with this, that's where you guys can make some really solid investments. And that's why I like this indicator, again, so much. So watch these lows, watch these breakouts. They're all giving you guys great opportunities for trades, but not everyone is going to be 100% perfect. Sometimes, like what we just saw right there, that big dip, it was going up higher, it wanted to, but FTX had a huge disaster and that caused the whole market to crash down in flames. Sometimes things like that occur. And now we're back to where we are currently, where you still have this buy signal here, but you're seeing some weakness. But if you go over here to the 4-hour chart and we're doing something more of maybe a slower swing trade, look at this. Sell signal right here. It actually popped up, hit a premium zone. You could have doubled down right there if you wanted to, but ultimately it worked out. You trusted the pattern and it worked out. That's the whole goal here, guys. So I'll see you guys another day. Please make sure to subscribe, and thank you guys so much for watching the video. Thanks.